year. Agar, thanks for the 10-month resub. I appreciate that. Thanks for the Twitch Prime support. I appreciate it. Yeah, hopefully it's gonna start sometime in January, but details like that can be tough. Sometimes ad deals go through real quick, and other times there's a lot more stuff that goes into it, especially if they're working with like multiple people. All right, so before I pop in here, quick 20-second spiel for people watching on YouTube in the future. We've got Arclight Phoenixes and 4 Manamorphose jammed into a Mardu Pyromancer shell. So a lot of the stuff going on here is very similar to Mardu Pyro, and we've got this additional threat in here. I actually think this is a neat addition to this archetype, because one of the things that Mardu Pyromancer has felt like in the past is it really struggles to close out games against engine decks like Tron and spell-based combo. So having Arclight Phoenix as a manner to like have a way to gain closing power feels reasonable. Grab a Blood Crypt, cast a Faithless Looting. I'm just gonna ditch a land for now. Might be a little aggressive to fetch Shock there, but I have double Collective Brutality if I need to buffer my health total back up. Stomping Ground. Valakut Titan. Valakut Titan historically, yep, is a very, very bad matchup for... this is a very, very bad matchup for Mardu Pyromancer. So I'm interested to see how this feels with our extra cards here. Alright, they have a Through the Breach and a Primeval Titan. Happy New Year, Sensuna. For my regulars, I will be off all day tomorrow, and I'll be back on Tuesday all day. So I'm taking New Year's Eve off, and I'll be doing my normal 8 to 10 hours on Tuesday. I'll probably do a little bit longer on Tuesday since I'm taking Monday off. Yeah, all of my weekdays are going to be 1 or 2 Modern Leagues, or MTGO Leagues to start today, then followed by a bunch of Standard. So I'll probably do, I think the plan is to do 2 Modern decks Tuesday morning, starting about 8:30 or 9 o'clock in the morning, and then do 4 to 5 Standard decks after for 5 or 6 hours. We'll see how the numbers are too. If I've got good numbers on New Year's Day, I'll probably run long. Thoughtseize, Blood Moon, Kolaghan's Command. All right, I guess I could Faithless Looting into a Thoughtseize. Let's not concede just yet. I'm gonna fetch a basic plains here. No, the +2 health just really doesn't matter. All right, 3 copies of Molten Rain, a Collective Brutality, and a whole lot of Finger Crossing. Okie doke. For people that don't understand why I conceded there, if you're new to Magic, is my opponent had a 6 land and a Primeval Titan in their hand, and Primeval Titan was going to get Valakuts, and their lands were just going to kill me for the rest of the game. I'm going to go ahead and Faithless Looting on one here to try and get set up for next turn to put the Phoenix back into play. You also tend to want to Thoughtseize a little bit later with this deck, or with most decks against combo decks. I want to give my opponent more chances to draw their good cards. So now I'm really well set up here, right? Next turn I get to go Manamorphose, draw a card, Thoughtseize them, bolt them. And like this is exactly the type of start I want to have in a matchup like this. I have Disruption plus a clock by putting the Arclight into play here. So I'm actually really excited to see this, because like this could be the type of game where like having an Arclight is like super meaningful, right? Like we basically have flipped a Delver on turn 2. The best Arclight deck so far, definitely the blue-red one, although I honestly haven't even been that impressed with the blue-red one. They've all felt kind of medium. They have Nahiri and Primeval Titan. Well, that sucks. Nahiri gets to exile my bird. I guess it doesn't exile it for a little bit. Maybe I can just race the Primeval Titan. They have a Search for Tomorrow on Suspend. And then they're gonna get to Farseek next turn. And the following turn they can ramp. I think I just have to take the Nahiri here. And just hope to like race the Titan with this bird. I mean, like, racing isn't that far off, right? Like, this is putting them to 11 here on turn 2 since they fetch shocked. Yeah, the Summoner's Pact is technically another threat as well. Good call. So I mean, I have them dead in 3 attacks here, right? Like with this Collective Brutality. We are unfortunately missing a Cacao Sound. I'm gonna go ahead and Faithless Looting off of a basic plains here, so that way we can cast Blood Moon next turn if we draw it. Also have Molten Rain as an option. All right, so Lightning Bolts, Blood Moons, Molten Rains, all good draws next turn. So their hand right now is Primeval Titan, Summoner's Pact, Sakura Tribuilder, and then one card I don't know. They draw another Nahiri. That's really unfortunate. So like, now Blood Moon doesn't even work, right? Oh, I guess I'm kind of getting punished for what I did here. I should have made red black. Because now because I made white, I can't flashback the Lingering Souls this turn. Which would be valuable. So I took both their Titans out of their hand. So for anybody who's never played against Valakut Titan before, that means my opponent's going to play a Titan in 2 turns. Or next turn, they actually get to Search for Tomorrow plus Sakura Tribuilder. They could play a Titan next turn even. For those of you in the audience who are new to Modern, that's how this works. They didn't discard the card from their hand. They didn't discard the card from their hand. That means they have a Titan in their hand. So I think the play to win line here is hope to draw a Lightning Bolt next turn so I can Bolt plus Brutality them. Wait, what? Do they keep Scapeshift? They must have kept Scapeshift, right? That's what this has to be. I think I'm gonna drain plus check for Scapeshift here. Explosives. Okay, weird. I guess that checks my Lingering Souls. I guess. So I have 3 bolts in my deck and 40 cards. I get 3 draws next turn at them. Because I have a Faithless Looting in my bin. block. We 3-2'd with Land Nauseam. We beat Blue-Red Delver, Grixis Delver, and and an Eldrazi post deck. All right, I guess. Thanks. Thanks. I mean, they saw Collective Brutality, right? So like, going to 2 there seems loose. Let's say loose. Yeah, I feel like they probably should have just played and cracked the explosives and like attacked me with the Sakura Tribe Elder. Little touch sloppy on their part. I'm gonna keep this on the draw. Sounds really good if it draws some lands. That is not dissimilar to a land, hopefully. Ding, ding, ding. I think I bin these two. During the stream, you mentioned that it felt a little meh and didn't include anything right up at the end. Should it either be... Oh, you talking about the Creeping Tar Pit? I don't know. I really didn't play enough games to know if the Creeping Tar Pit's good or not. Let's draw a discard spell. Probably gonna get Nahiri next turn and just die. Molten Rain, contrary to popular belief, actually isn't very good in this matchup. And the reason for it is incredibly simple. We're going to spend 3 resources to kill one of their lands. My opponent's deck is 27 lands and more cards that find them lands. So, like, we have, like, these 3 cards that, like, blow their lands up, but their deck is just mono lands. So, like, we're just, like, it's like... This Molten Rain is like taking a bucket and putting it out, hoping it like catches all the rainwater while your roof is gone from a tornado. Just like incredibly unlikely to do anything. Alpine Moon's very reasonable against Valakut Titan. If you have a way to kill their Titans, Alpine Moon is a very reasonable card. All right, hopefully their payoff here is Scapeshift. Because they obviously don't have a Titan, right? Do I just Blood Moon? Yeah, I think we just Blood Moon. Hope this is good enough. Start with Faithless Looting here, see where we go. Bedlam's not a bad hit. Discard Souls plus Lightning Bolt. Nice, Knight of Autumn. I guess any ramp spell lets them find the basic planes to kill this. It's funny, so there's actually a Naya Scapeshift deck on my website, and I intentionally left Reclamation Sage in that deck because of situations like this. Because Rek'Sage is much better against Blood Moon. I mean, they definitely play a basic plains, because, like, they have all the land search effects. So, like, Search for Tomorrow, Farseek, these all find them, those types of effects. I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to play this out, honestly. They kind of need to draw a sweeper anyways. Yeah, playing that out might actually be wrong. All right, we could die here. If they have Scapeshift or a Titan, we're dead. Wow, do they have nothing? We're so lucky. I enjoy being lucky, chat. It's my favorite thing. These are a few of my favorite things. Do 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 do. All right. Well, for the same reason Molten Rain's not particularly good against them, their deck can also just be mediocre sometimes, right? Like, their deck's like 35 lands, so sometimes they draw all lands and no gas. If you are incredibly lucky, this matchup is not difficult. Onward, upward, backward, forward. Yeah, if you gotta choose between being lucky and being good, definitely choose being lucky every time. Makes life much, much easier. Yeah, the bird applying a clock was useful there. For those of you that are taking notes at home to wonder, is Arclight worth testing more in Mardu Pyromancer? That's what you want to be keeping track of. Like, combo matchups like that are places where the bird should be extra good. I think I bin this and keep these because 1-mana spells give me the most potential to discarded Collective Brutality playing against burn. Welcome to my life. Feels bad, man. So if they play Bedlam Reveler here, do I bolt Bedlam and then play Pyromancer? Probably. There's currently 3 instants and sorceries in my bin. This lightning bolt will be number 4. Bloodghast is an interesting idea. Definitely harder to cast, but interesting. What's going on, Twin? No, my normal 10% discount code does not stack on top of the normal 20. So the Jeff Holiday sale code gets you 20% off. You cannot stack it up to 30 past that. So if I hit an untapped land, I can Bedlam Reveler next turn, which is nice. If I don't hit the untapped land, do I Faithless Looting or do I Blood Moon them off of white cards? How many coins do I have in MTGA? Only like 30k. I think I'm actually supposed to Blood Moon them off of white. And I think I'm chump blocking this turn. I don't think I can take another hit. I mean, like, so like only 30k, like, and we're talking about coins and not gems. Thank you, Bub Jinx, for the biddies. I appreciate it. Keep in mind, like, I literally play Magic Arena as my job. So like, when I say only 30k, I mean only 30k. All right, did do a lot. Please draw white spells the rest of the game. You don't kill me, I kill me, opponent. And Burn's just like, if a devil made a deal with you that was, you have to play Burn, but you're never gonna draw a fourth land, you snap that deal right off, because Burn never drawing a fourth land is quite possibly the best deck in Modern. It's very, very, very good. I agree. Burn is always just okay. It's this powerful, proactive game plan. Eidolon gets to hose a lot of decks that exist in Modern. This hand's great. Inquisition on 1, Collective Brutality on 2, Flashback Lingering Souls on 3. Only take 1 damage from my lands. You think they're gonna bring in Rest in Peace? I guess that's fair. Yeah, I probably should bring in cards to kill Rest in Peace. I wasn't thinking about that. You have Rakdos Charm. Okay. I'm gonna take a Searing Blade. It's gonna kill my stuff at some point. I'm gonna take Boros Charm at this point because it's their highest damage output. So, while the brutalities feel good against Burn, a common misconception I often hear is how this card 2-for-1's Burn, and this card never generates card advantage is an important thing to keep in mind. Collective Brutality generates tempo. It allows you to convert resources that you otherwise would die having not used them against Burn, but it does not, however, generate card advantage. They Rakdos Charm my bin here. This Bedlam Reveler's gonna get stuck in my hand, which sucks. Yeah. Maybe I'm supposed to... Maybe I'm supposed to just flashback Lingering Souls there. It appears to be approximately 4:20 in whatever time zone my opponent's in. I mean, don't get me wrong. I didn't. So that's what Thoms there just did. They jumped to a false equivalency there. They said they took my statement to just mean that Collective Brutality isn't a card that's good against Burn. Collective Brutality is great against Burn. It, however, is not a card that generates card advantage, though. It is a card that generates you tempo, which is very good against burn, because most decks, when they lose to burn, they're losing because they're getting out tempoed. They're dying with cards in their hand. Collective Brutality is a card that lets you turn cards that you are likely going to die with in hand into a reasonable resource. But again, converting a card you are going to die with into a reasonable resource isn't card advantage. It's just like getting some use out of a card that you were going to die with in your hand otherwise. Yeah, Collective Brutality basically lets you 2 for 2 them and 3 for 3 them, but for only 2 mana. It's a card that puts you up on tempo. Sure, but it's only pseudo card advantage until you get to the point where like the game has lasted and you now like need cards to play. Like once you hit a point where like you need cards to play, it's no longer been card advantage. So I'm bolting them here because this way if I draw an untapped land, I can cast Bedlam Reveler for 6 mana. Manamorphose would also let me cast Bedlam Reveler there. So they're gonna blaze my bird. I'll go down to 8. All right, let's me cast the Stork. Gas up a little bit here. Red, red. The old 5 mana Bedlam Reveler, go. And like, the Bedlam Reveler here gassing up means that I likely get to fluke both these Arclight Phoenixes into play next turn, right? So if I get a next turn with them having, you know, 3 cards in their hand, there's no guarantee we get a next turn by any means here. But if we get a next turn, it's looking good for our hero. Yeah, we're hoping against hope they have like a 5th land and like a creature in their hand right now. Or like 2 Rift Bolts or something like that. I'm tapped out. Am I dead? Dev the Rev Ryan with the brand new tier 1 sub. Thank you very much and welcome. Hope you're having a better Sunday night than I am. Howdy, howdy. Welcome to the stream. Tank, count my spells, deal 6. All right. Had to get the camera and show his mom, right? I mean, this hand's good. Get to put a bird into play on turn 2. So I'm not gonna Faithless Looting on 1 here. My girlfriend applauded the whataboutism rant. I hate when you cry, love when you rage. Thanks for modern despite the data. I appreciate the support. So I'm waiting to Faithless Looting here because this way I get to draw a card for my turn plus 2 cards from the Manamorphose. So I get 5 looks to find the other Arclight Phoenix by waiting here. Let me dig a little deeper, have a better chance to put 2 birds into play. Looks like we're playing against Hardened scales here. Second Bedlam is going to be our discard choice here if we don't find something better. I think I just looting again here to try and take 2 more shots at the second bird. I'd really like 2 birds this turn. No, normal affinity still exists. We've actually played stock affinity on stream before. It's just different. They operate on different axes. In your opinion, what defines someone as a mathematician? Someone that works in mathematics, I would probably classify as a mathematician, whether it be a teacher or researcher or something like that. We have a 3/2 that attacked with flying on 2, and we've got 3 removal spells in our hands. We should be pretty well positioned to get set up here. So probably just like Doomblade. Is this a it's basically, so like the best way I heard Arclight Phoenix described was it's a Delver that you don't have to struggle with flipping. It's just like always flipped when it does its thing, which is like a great way to think about it, I think. The opponent's deck is unfortunately one of those doesn't deal damage to itself decks, so Arclight's got a lot of work to do here. The K Command's a good pickup, though. If we find a 3rd land, that's going to help us bury them even deeper in the ground. Shock plus Shatter are both things we're in the market for. We're looking to dodge Hanger Backwalker at this point, because that card generates a lot of annoying blockers for our things in the sky. Man, their busted card found their other busted card. Some kind of X spell here. Hangboy or Walking Ballista. Rekindled Soul, thank you for the tier 2 resub. I really appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. I mean, you could probably argue that a high school math teacher probably does more math on average than a lot of professional engineers. I would, and this is going from my gut. Like, if you're a professional engineer and have experience with this, please feel free to speak up. But I would estimate that most professional engineers don't actually spend that much time doing nitty-gritty math. Like, the engineering background is like a basis for problem solving, basically, and I'm assuming most of them, their actual math computations are done using computer software. Like, obviously they need a background to like interpret and understand and make sure that like the data that's being outputted is reasonable and valid, but I would assume they're not actually like doing math by hand. Math is for interns and computers. Yeah, that would be my assumption. And blockers. That's great. And blockers. Don't forget the blockers, chat. Math is certainly for people trying to block. All right. So how do we feel? How do I want to prioritize here? I think it's Shatter the Ballista, discard a card from their hand. Yeah, I think it's Shatter, discard. That's not what I want. I want this one. So you discard, you Shatter. They'll poke me for 1. Mr. Beardo with the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for ripping your Bezo bucks this way this month and keeping me employed. I think a card out of their hand is worth more than the Mox Opal here. Yeah, I think a card out of their hand is worth more than the Mox Opal, especially this turn, because once I take the Walking Ballista off the table, the Opal's actually not active right now, so they can't play another 2-drop this turn. Does it cost me 2 yet? It does. So I think I'm actually just gonna go ahead and like push this off a cliff and then cast this Bedlam Reveler. Yeah, that's what I would expect, Conqueror. The math is fixed into the Excel spreadsheets. And like having an engineering background, I assume, is like, so you can like look at the results and go, these results make sense. Like what the computer has outputted isn't nonsense. You don't like go in and actually validate all the calculations, because the computer has been programmed to do the calculations correctly. You use graph theory and game theory as an engineer, JVL? That's interesting. How do you use, in what aspect do you use game theory as an engineer? Do I want to kill this? For the children at home, that wasn't a dab, that was me sneezing. I just have the fastest mute in the West. I think I want to just Stone Rain them here. They're stumbling. Let's just capitalize on that. This puts them to 8, and I have 6 power in play, plus a Lingering Souls flashback and a Pyromancer in hand. Yeah, one of the so when I taught a lot of introductory college courses, because I only have a master's degree, I don't have a PhD. So like when I was teaching, I taught a lot of like intros to statistics courses and like finite mathematics, which is like the highest math that like non-math, non-STEM people take at most schools. And a lot of people who don't have a reasonable math background, they have a really hard time gauging, like, does what the calculator told me make sense? Like, we'd have units on, like, calculating compound interest, and people would, like, get the computation out of their calculator, and they'd write down, like, 10% interest on $1,000 is, like, $10,000, like, not realizing that they, like, missed a decimal in their calculator. And it'd be like, well, do you understand that, like, that doesn't make sense? Like, if I told you owed me 10% interest on $1,000, it wouldn't be $10,000 worth of interest. And, like, there'd be a lot of people that would look at me like I have 2 heads, but I'd be like, well, that doesn't make sense fundamentally, right? Like, even if you can't look at that and know the number with your gut, you can look at it and approximate it, right? That's interesting, actually. Yeah, maybe I actually usually bring in Rest in Peace in this matchup, so I think you're right that Leyline's probably good enough to bring in. And I think it's a mistake that I did, and we'll reassess for game 3. So I think I definitely Inquisition here on 1, because they have all these welding jars, so if they get anything into play, I'm gonna have a real hard time killing it. Warbler, thanks for the brand new Prime support, I appreciate that. Welcome, thanks for keeping me employed here. I would like your 1 spell, please. One of your finest spells, please. No, the opponent's deck definitely doesn't have anywhere near enough non-creature spells for Kambal to be good. I think Leyline's pretty reasonable because it shuts off modular and Hangerback Walker dice triggers, and like Hangerback Walker dice triggers can be really annoying to work through. Well, that's incredibly annoying. Combo deck advice, like you're looking for a combo or you're looking for advice on a specific deck? Always feel free to post Magic related questions in chat. So do I just start popping off fatal pushes here and like try and work through their welding jars? Or are they not gonna bite on that? I'm gonna start with this fatal push here and see what they do. Giddy up, cowboy. Let's go. Let's go. History repeating. So I assume it's going to be modular over onto the Inkmoth here. Oh, they're going like all in on this Inkmoth. Okay. It's been a while since I've played the Breach version. I know I personally prefer playing the Breach version because it gives you more leverage against Blood Moon, and I like being able to combo kill the turn you go off. Really, we're Grafdigger's caging. All right. So they're going like all in on this Ink Moth. Got it. Well, now I'm gonna Faithless Looting and put this Arclight Phoenix into play here. And then I'm probably gonna be in an okay position to race, right? Because I'm gonna have like 10 power in play almost. The Phoenixes seem sweet in this archetype. I've played like Hazarets and Rabble-Masters and stuff like that in the past before in Mardu and always been kind of underwhelmed by them, but the Phoenixes seem like a sweet angle of attack. It'd be sweet if we draw another Phoenix here. I think I'm gonna keep the land and the souls here because I'd like to just play in flashback lingering souls. So like this puts them to 15. I put 2 blockers out next turn. Modular says if this happens when this card dies. And cards like Leyline of the Void and Rest in Peace are what's called a replacement effect. So it replaces the card dying with it moving to exile. Yeah, they sacked Grafdigger's Cage to like try and get me on a 2-turn clock with this Ink Moth Nexus, which I think is incredibly greedy. Yeah, second that from Civil Penguin. If you're looking to learn Storm, Caleb sure is probably like the accepted Storm master as far as content creation is concerned. Does a lot of good stuff. You have a Tormod's Crypt. Are you gonna let me flashback Lingering Souls and Faithless Looting? Okie doke. You can also find some of me playing Storm on my website, Warbler. So if you click Modern next to the top under Proven, there should be a blue-red Storm page. You can find a current deck list, was the last one I played that I liked, as well as a playlist of YouTube videos on there. No, Captain Jack. What archetype would you say I play best in Modern? I have no idea at this point. Meme? Yeah. Terrible underpowered deck that only beats opponents when they don't understand what's going on. AKA Kiki Cord. I'm sure I'm going to accept at least one Teamer Scapeshift with Growth Spiral in it, because I really would love Scapeshift to be good. That card probably doesn't make Teamer Scapeshift playable, but we'll try at least one league. In general, I like playing tempo decks. Decks like Blue-Red Wizards, Blue-Black Fairies, stuff like that. That's why I played the Fairies deck at the last the last open that I played. Although the more Magic I play these days, the more fond I'm becoming of the small creature aggro decks, like Elves and White-Red aggro are both decks that have really grown on me. That style of gameplay. Just like give them the business. My opponent mulliganed to 5 and conceded. Do I just board like they're playing Bogles? I should board like they're playing Bogles, right? Eating between rounds is underrated. It's arguably OP. They could be Tron. I'm gonna board like they could be on Bogles. If they're on Tron, we probably can't win on the draw anyways, so it's fine. If they play a Tron land on 1, I'm gonna concede the game and get to game 3 on the play. Or my opponent's just conceding the match. All right, well, we're 3-1. Onward, onward, upward, backward, forward, slow and steady. Tonight might be a little bit of a shorter stream. I don't think I'm going to get to a 5th deck. Got Jeskai Flash as the next league after this one for the last league of the evening. You explained how you navigated that match, TikTok. Sit down and be very intimidating. Very intimidating. I don't think there's Resto Angels. I think it's Clicks and Nimble Obstructionists and Spellquellers. Yeah, it's Clicks, Nimble Obstructionists, Spellquellers. Hey, Rizit DK, thank you very much for the 4-month resub there. Hey, appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. It's not amazing, but it's fine. I don't have a good way to get this Phoenix into play. Hopefully they're a deck that loses to Blood Moon. What has happened to my opponent's hand? Has Moto locked up? All right, apparently I need to reload Magic Online to resolve this Inquisition. These people are great. Buy their stuff. These people, also great. Buy their stuff. Happy Sunday. I'm here to drop off my bits for the post-Rav Allegiance Teamer Amulet. Sounds good, Nifty. Thanks for the support. I appreciate it. Oh, no. Oh, no. Is Moto not reloading? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's a good thing I don't use much time off my clock. Lilia Bad, thanks for the 10-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. It's fine. It's loading again. I'm logging in. I'm logging in. What is going on? Why can't I click things? Did it just crash because... I think it just crashed because there's a foil lightning helix in their hand. Nope, wait, maybe. Watch it like click and take the wrong card now. Alright, I'm gonna take the Eidolon. I'm taking the Eidolon. I'm not resizing the window game, we're just clicking on something. Just clicking on a thing. Yeah, promo helix has the right colors. Come at me, little guy. Boom, 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 boom. We're We're actually gonna Fatal Push the Goblin Guide as opposed to Lightning Bolting it. They know about the Lightning Bolt from the Goblin Guide trigger, but I'd much rather, what's it called? I'd much rather save this because it can be reach. Those are not the lands I want for Christmas. So if I get a land here, I'm actually going to play the Blood Moon, because it locks them off the Helix. Alright, I mean, that lets me put the bird into play. Alright, now we'll just discard the Blood Moon, I think. Yeah, Prime subs are identical to Tier 1 subs. Every way, shape, and form. I get the same amount of money from someone Prime subbing to me, and you get all the same benefits Prime subbing to me as if you sent me $5 every month. Prime's great. You have bolted my bird. Congrats. The only difference is auto-renew, that's true. To be fair, though, you can set up normal subs to not auto-renew as well. Inquisition was a good draw here. I think I'm going to go ahead and cast Faithless Looting here rather than Lightning Bolt. Not only does it save my removal spell, but that way I get to try and dig for another Phoenix to put into play here. I think I ditched these two, put this into play tapped. So they have Crack, Bolt, then one card I don't know. Finally got 2 in a row, so glad to put the boots to work. What's going on, T2T? I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Alright, so they have Crack plus Bolt in their hand. I think I'm playing Souls here. There might be merit to just Kolaghan's command making them discard one of these, though. Because they draw a land next turn, they get to put me to 3. So, like, I'm kind of hoping they draw a spell here, which feels awkward. Creature's not too bad for us. I think I'm actually going to chump block here. Actually, I'm going to double block, because this forces them to play the Lightning Bolt. And then next turn, my Kolaghan's command can shock the Swift Spear, make them discard a card. So I'm at 6. My clock's a little bit slow here, though. This is not too slow. We're putting them to 12. So I need them to draw, like... If they draw, like, 4 lands this game, we'll win. If they draw all spells from here, obviously we're dead. Heyo. Brick by Glorious Brick. Don't mind if it does. Looking for another bird. Woof. Wonder if I'm supposed to keep the Thoughtseize as fodder to potentially flip another bird into play next turn. That's probably correct, actually. Goblin Guide is an excellent draw for us. If we kept Double Bolt, they die this turn, right? I couldn't keep Double Bolt. I had 3 cards in my hand. I had to discard 2 of them. This forces them to chump block. All right, burn. Collective Brutality in, Kambal in, Blood Moon's out. Submit. Yeah, I think so. Hey, Deep Blue, thanks for the 3-month resub on the Twitch Prime there. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed into the new year. 12 months, talk me out of buying into Grixis Death Shadow. I think if you're looking for a modern deck, Grixis Death Shadow is a great choice. Look, no numbers. I think especially if you're someone who likes interactive decks in modern, I think Grixis Shadow would probably be my pick for the best interactive deck in the format. It's like a deck that gets to play a heavy amount of interaction that also has like powerful linear draws. I think I'm keeping that. Yeah, sometimes I'm really bad at listening. Just ask my wife. Weird that they played basic Mountain on one when they have a Core Firewalker in their hand. They could have played a dual land. They have a Skullcrack here. I don't know, Thoughtseize them. So they're going to Boros Charm me in response here. So I'm going to end up at 13. I'm going to take their Skullcrack away. So this Collective Brutality can work. They have a Deflecting Palm. It's a good one to know about. Nice. Nice white card. Huh. I'm actually going to play this Lingering Souls out this turn. I want to wait a turn to Manamorphose, because having a little bit more information makes me more likely to be able to get the Arclight Phoenix back next turn. Also, if I wait a turn and they hit a white source, I can kill the Core Firewalker, which would be nice. Wonder if we'll see them Searing Blaze a token here. Like Fetch Shock Blaze a token. Celeris, thanks for the 4-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for the 3rd of a year. What's going on, Inner? Yeah, we did all modern last night too. There's 4 leagues up on YouTube from last night. 5 leagues? There's 5 leagues up on YouTube from last night. Hope you're having a good weekend. I'm going to go ahead and make red black here. Hoping to draw a 1-mana red spell or 1-mana black spell. Second, Arclight Phoenix. Alright, we're just going to full mode this bad boy, but I'm a little bit off from casting either of these Phoenixes or getting either of these Phoenixes back, unfortunately. And we're at 11, right? I'm gonna get to close this game out pretty quickly. Unless they have some kind of weird card like a Volcanic Fallout, we should be a pretty good favorite to win from this point. Yeah, because like next turn I get to bolt them plus flashback Lingering Souls. So like that puts them to, I'm hitting them for 6 next turn and adding like 4 power to the table. I am not trading Pyromancer for some Spear here. It's not a trade I'm interested in. I am, however, well that's a pretty good one. Let's do this. Into flashback this. This puts them to 12, and I'm at 7. So unless they draw Skullcrack this turn, we should be in can't lose territory. So we need to avoid getting Skullcracked off of our Collective Brutality next turn, because they don't have 2 spells that deal 9 points of damage. But Skullcrack can prevent our life gain, and then they can draw Boros Charm. We also need to dodge Ensnaring Bridge here, I suppose. Alright, so if they draw a brick next turn, they're dead. We're attacking them to 5. Alright, so we went 4-1 in the league. However, we went 3-1 in matches played because we had somebody, our 4th match just conceded. The Phoenixes felt really good in that league, in the matches where we had them. There were a couple of times where we had a little bit of a hard time bringing them back. But overall, Phoenix felt like a really good card to slot into here to supplement the threat base in this deck that's often felt threat light. The Mardu Pyromancer archetype in general tends to struggle against decks that you need to close out against, so like spell-based combo decks and Tron. And Arclight Phoenix is a card that we can play reasonably with the rest of our game plan that gets into play quickly and applies pressure to the opponent's health total. So I think if Mardu fair stuff was something that I would be interested in playing some of, I think this is what I would be testing Arclight Phoenix if I wanted to play Mardu Pyromancer in this format. So this definitely feels like something that's worthwhile trying.